One-on-one with your manager will be more effective. So basically, there is this question whether you should prepare for the one-on-one, whether you should discuss these tasks, whether you should talk about your personal life, proceedings, what should you do in your one-on-one, and how to drive it. So this should provide some good tips about it. So recently, I read chapter 1 of the book, The Manager's Path, which describes the basics of being managed and the basics of being managed, not being a manager, and what to expect from a manager. I'm going to share some of the things that I learned from this book with you so that you can communicate more effectively with your manager. Let's get started. There are two kinds of managers. There are managers who just leaves you alone entirely and you as an engineer just kind of know what to work on. They never give you feedback, only to suddenly inform you that you are not meeting expectation or are not qualified for promotion. On the other hand, there are managers who genuinely want to help you succeed in your career. They teach you important skills, provide valuable feedback, help you navigate difficult situations and figure out what you need to learn. Most importantly, this helps you understand what is important to focus and what enables you to maintain that focus. So once there are these managers, I think this is highly important to work with this kind of manager. They actually care and they provide good tips. A good manager aspires to be a leader rather than just a boss. They actively work to help you achieve your goals. But to achieve that, they need enough information from you to be able to assist you at each step. There are certain expectations that you should have from your manager in terms of performance, and you should also strive to meet those expectations to stay on track and make progress. One-on-one meetings, one-on-one with your manager, are an essential feature of a good working relationship. Lesson 1. Be vocal with your manager, as your manager may be able to help you navigate through various difficult situations, whether they are technical or personal. Lesson 2. You should expect some tasks to be performed by the manager, because as you learn what to expect from the manager, you can start to ask what you need, such as expecting feedback after every project. Lesson 3. One-on-one serves two purposes. It creates a strong relationship between you and your manager, and it provides an opportunity to discuss whatever you want to discuss with your manager. Lesson 4. Avoid conducting one-on-one meetings for status updates. Instead, inform them on Slack, email, or other platforms, because one-on-one as a status meeting is repetitive and probably boring at some point. Lesson 5. Creating an agenda for the one-on-one meeting is essential. You should expect your meeting to be scheduled at a defined time so that you can plan accordingly. It is not always your manager's responsibility to prepare the one-on-one agenda. It's your responsibility too. It is good for you to put a little thought into what you might actually want to discuss before your one-on-one meetings. I can attest to this. Once you prepare an agenda, just create a couple of bullet points to discuss. This greatly assists this process. Lesson 6. Receiving behavioral feedback during one-on-one meeting instead of waiting until the performance review cycle can help you identify bad habits earlier, allowing you to correct them more quickly. Lesson 7. Keep no track of your good or bad feedback and use it when you write your self-review for the year. Lesson 8. Asking for advice, not solutions. Show that you respect and trust your manager or peers. Lesson 9. Being vocal is the fastest way to get an answer instead of waiting for the manager to ask how you are experiencing work. Interesting. So I already say if this is interesting, not interesting, what do you think? Lesson 10. If your manager gives you critical feedback on one-on-one meetings, it does not necessarily mean that your behavior was terrible. A good manager ensures that they deliver critical feedback early instead of waiting for the performance cycle or for convenient time to address the issues. Lesson 11. If you want to get promoted, ask your manager where you can focus or what you can do or what are your areas of improvement. If you don't ask for it, don't expect them to just give you one magically. Lesson 12. Use your manager to discover where you are and figure out yourself where you would like to go next. Lesson 13. Take every feedback kindly, even if you don't agree with this. So this looks like good points. It means you need to get prepared for the one-to-one. Think of areas outside of the work status. Lesson 14. Take responsibility for finding out what you need to know from your manager. Lesson 15. If you have any difficulties while understanding and learning something, if you ask for guidance, he or she might help you finding training and other resources to support your career growth. It's important to step in and ask help whenever needed. It is difficult to follow these expectations if your manager does not regularly meet with you or cancels meetings because of availability issues. You may not want to do one-on-one regularly, or you may only need them every few weeks. That's okay, as long as you don't eliminate them completely. Use them as you require them, and if you find that you want to meet more frequently, ask your manager for that. Some example questions that you can add to your one-on-one agenda. Do you see me improving? If not, what should be my areas for improvement? What should I focus on to get promoted? Was I able to achieve my feedback that you gave me last time? What should I stop doing and why? Are there responsibilities I can take over to grow in my career? What things I'm doing well so that I should continue doing? Are there any gaps in my current project delivery, workflow steps? Reference The Manager's Path, a guide for tech leaders navigating growth by Camille Fortier. Okay, so this was in general some tips about one-on-one. I think the lessons to take from this is to prepare the one-on-one, to think of topics. I wouldn't strictly say it's not status updates, but try to focus on non-status updates, on some long terms, on some general, on some ideas that you have. Taking a step back and looking at the overall picture and discussing with your manager. Of course, this also depends on the manager's attitude and stuff. So this was one-on-one with your manager will be more effective. And these were some tips about this.